Homelander stood in the ruins of what used to be a temple, deep beneath the earth. The excavation lights flickered, their glow barely illuminating the ancient carvings on the walls, depictions of grotesque figures wrapped in chains, flesh twisted in unnatural shapes. At the center of the chamber sat a small, seemingly innocuous golden puzzle box atop a stone altar. Vought's best scientists had been baffled by it. No radiation, no technology, no detectable energy signature. Just a puzzle. Homelander had been told it was worthless, but something about it called to him. The longer he stared, the more he felt an itch in his mind, a whisper pressing against the inside of his skull. He picked up the box. His fingers traced the intricate engravings, and without thinking, he pressed a section. The mechanism shifted beneath his touch, rotating and unfolding in a smooth, almost organic motion. A single note of a haunting chime rang out, echoing through the chamber. The temperature dropped. The shadows in the room stretched unnaturally. The walls shifted, no longer stone, but flesh, pulsating as if the entire temple had become something alive. Then came the chains. They shot out from the darkness, tipped with barbed hooks, aiming straight for him. Instinct took over. Homelander dodged with superhuman speed, blasting heat vision in a wide arc to burn through them. But they didn't melt. They didn't even slow. They changed direction midair, pursuing him like living things. He grunted as they struck, wrapping around his arms, his legs, his throat. Pain. For the first time in years, he felt pain. A voice, deep and patient, slithered through the chamber. "Ah, you." A figure emerged from the darkness, stepping forward with eerie grace. He was clad in black leather, his pale skin stretched taut over his skull, punctuated by cold iron pins hammered deep into his flesh. His eyes were neither human nor beast. They were endless, bottomless pits of suffering. You opened the box. The voice was calm, yet laced with something undeniable authority. Homelander gritted his teeth, every instinct screaming to rip the chains apart and blast this thing into ash. "I don't know who the hell you are, but you've made a big mistake." Pinhead tilted his head slightly, the ghost of a smirk playing on his lipless mouth. "No, child, you have." With a flick of his fingers, the chains tightened. Homelander gasped, actual panic flickering across his usually cocky face. His muscles strained, veins bulging as he pulled against them. The world around him had changed. This wasn't the temple anymore. It was a void, an endless, crimson-dark expanse of suffering. "What is this?" he snarled. "A realm beyond yours," Pinhead answered. "A place where power means nothing, where all beings are reduced to what they truly are beneath their illusions. And you are a fragile thing." Homelander's eyes burned red, his heat vision flaring as he unleashed everything he had at the Cenobite's face. The blast hit directly, enough power to vaporize entire buildings, reduce steel to slag. Pinhead didn't flinch. Homelander's breath caught. The Cenobite stepped closer. The chains lifted him now, dragging him higher as the void twisted around them, forming grotesque structures of writhing flesh and bone. Screaming faces emerged from the walls, distorted, agonized visages, whispering pleas for mercy. "You think yourself a god," Pinhead continued, his voice almost amused. "Yet you seek validation in the eyes of insects. You rage, you posture, but inside, you are nothing but a child, desperate for approval." Homelander roared, snapping his arms free with a surge of strength. His vision burned red once more, but before he could strike, Pinhead raised a single finger. Chain shot from the void, piercing through Homelander's hands and feet, pulling him apart in midair. The pain was beyond anything he had ever known. It was as if his nerves had been flayed raw, his body rejecting its own invulnerability. His screams filled the void. Pinhead stepped closer, standing beneath the suspended soup. "You have felt so little in this life, haven't you?" He reached out, running an iron-tipped nail across Homelander's cheek. "Allow me to grant you sensation." The chains pulled harder, bones cracked, skin stretched. Blood, real hot, red blood, began to drip from Homelander's wounds. "I can't die," Homelander gasped, his voice shaking, sweat beating down his face. His mind was racing now. He had survived everything. No one could kill him. He was untouchable. Pinhead's smile widened. "Oh, my dear boy." He leaned in, his breath like frost. "Who said anything about death?" Homelander's pupils shrank as realization dawned. And then the chains pulled. His body wasn't tearing apart, not in the way it should. Instead, it was changing. His invulnerable skin peeled away in delicate, surgical precision, revealing raw muscle and exposed nerves, reshaped into grotesque designs. His once pristine cape was no longer fabric, but strips of flayed flesh, draped over his shoulders like a mockery of his former glory. The pain didn't stop, but something else did. The screaming. Because Homelander wasn't fighting it anymore. Pinhead took a step back, admiring his work. Yes, much better. From the darkness, the walls of flesh began to pulse. The screaming faces laughed, their distorted mouths stretching unnaturally. The golden puzzle box, now discarded on the floor, shifted back to its original form. On the other side of reality, deep in the Vought Tower, executives panicked as every single screen in the building flickered, displaying static. Then a single image, a figure standing in the dark, his uniform no longer blue, but deep crimson, his glowing eyes now a ghastly white. A new Cenobite had been born. Not Homelander. Not a god. Just another servant of hell above all.